Alrighty, everybody, I think we'll get started. Hi, everyone. My name is Jackie Iovich. I work in the Office of Admissions here at Wilkes University. I am joined by two of my colleagues at Wilkes who are in residence life, Ray Fedora and Alex Reynolds. Just before we get started, I just want to, I have a couple of housekeeping items that I want to go over. We are recording this session, so you will be able to go back and reference this at any time should you need to check it out again. We'll have it posted on our website and emailed to all of our attendees, so don't worry about that. Also, we are asking that you use our Q&A feature today. It's a great, easy way for us to see what questions are coming in and to easily answer your questions, and we can answer them live or take the answer. So Alex and Ray will, I think, kick it off now. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to do this on a beautiful May day. We really appreciate it.
Excellent. Thanks, Jackie. So my name is Ray Fedora. I am the Interim Director of Residence Life.
And my name is Alex Reynolds. I'm one of the Residence Life coordinators for Wilkes University.
Well, it is a pleasure to speak with all of you today. I know I can't see any of your faces, but hopefully we'll get to do that soon here on campus together. But I'm happy to answer or talk a little bit about residence life and answer whatever questions you may have. So I am just going to share my screen so you can see the little visual we've prepared for you today. Jackie, is that showing up okay? All right, Jackie says yes. So we'll get started and talk a little bit about the residence halls. Jackie will throw in any questions that we get, so feel free to pop in with some questions, and we'll be happy to answer them as we go. So to talk a little bit about what it is we do in residence life. And so our main purpose is really to give you a living experience here on campus, right? To make sure that you have somewhere to stay, that you can thrive here while you're attending classes at Wilkes University, and to help create that community feeling right here on campus in our residence halls. We want to make sure that we help you explore everything that Wilkes has to offer in a safe and comforting environment, and to help you be successfully both academically and personally. And so from everyone from our student staff all the way up through my position as director, that is our main focus of what we do here on campus. Our residence life team currently consists of about 40 student staff members. There's a picture of some of them there, and we're super proud of them. So they are our sophomore through senior students who attend Wilkes and show some fantastic leadership skills and go through pretty intense trainings in the fall to help all of our residential students be successful in the residence halls. We also have some live-in staff, professional staff members, both under bachelor's and master's level professionals, and our graduate assistants and area coordinators, Alex being one of those that work directly with the RAs and with the students here on campus in the residence halls to make sure that your time living with us is successful. And so they're here to help connect you with resources, to help navigate roommate issues, to help if you're homesick, whatever issue you're having in the halls. Generally, residence life can either help or direct you into what office or staff member can help you, as we're pretty well versed and well connected on campus. So and then we also have an office manager and director and myself as the director to help guide that office in our day-to-day activities. And then of course you. So while you may not necessarily be hired by the Residence Life office, you are an integral part of what we do, because without our residential students, we wouldn't need the residence halls at all. And so you are an integral part of what we do in the halls and why we're here. And so, I chose this career, and so did Alex, because we enjoy working with students outside of the classroom and helping you find your way here on campus. So to give you a little bit of an introduction to the different types of housing we have here at Wilkes University, we have 3 different types available to first-year students. We also have a 4th type that we don't necessarily talk too much about today, and that's apartment-style halls, and that's typically because apartments are reserved for returning students, sophomores and above. So we don't spend a lot of time on that today, but we'll talk about the other 3 types of housing that are available to first-year students. So we have traditional style housing. Traditional style housing and mansion style housing both stem from some of our older mansion style homes or historic homes in the community that Wilkes University has acquired and turned into residential facilities. Traditional differs from mansion in the sense that traditional, typically they're converted mansions, but they were typically gutted out and sort of renovated on the inside to make them have a more traditional corridor style feel to them. Those types of housing have singles and then doubles and triples, meaning singles, doubles, triples, the number of people that live in a particular bedroom. Our traditional style halls also have community bathrooms. So think about, when you see in popular media what a residence hall looks like, that shared kind of style bathroom that you've probably seen at other campuses as well. That's what you're going to see in our traditional style residence halls. Roth Hall is one of the more popular traditional styles. It does have air conditioning. And then Slocum, Sullivan, Pearsall Hall, there's some of the other examples of our traditional style halls here on campus. Suite style housing, is probably the most popular request we have for first year students. And that's Evans Hall. It's our largest first year residence hall, houses about 200 of our first year students. And it's 2 double bedrooms connected by a Jack and Jill style bathroom. So you've got 2 bedrooms and then you've got that bathroom connecting those 2 bedrooms. And so that bathroom is what we call semi-private, which means that it is shared among the 4 residents of those 2 rooms, but is not accessible to anybody outside of those 2 rooms. So Evans, all the rooms have the same layout, same size, unlike our mansion style hall where everything's really unique and different, and one room doesn't necessarily look like the next. In Evans, in our suite style hall, everything looks the same. So your neighbor's bedroom is going to look exactly just like yours, and so you know what to expect. Evans is also air conditioned, if that is important to you, as some of our halls have air conditioning and some do not, but that one does. And this is one that if you've been to campus, you've probably at least seen the outside. If you've ever been on a tour before, you've most likely seen the inside as well. And then mansion style housing is the 3rd option available to first year students. And honestly, in my opinion, this is what makes me love working at Wilkes in residence life so much, because this is what adds that unique factor that a lot of other institutions just don't have. And so we have these old style or old mansion style residence homes that were converted into residence halls. And Wilkes has done everything they can to maintain as much of the original character to these buildings as possible. And so you might see some rooms that have fireplaces and mantles and built-in bookshelves or stained glass windows, beautiful wooden staircases. They're pretty unique style residence halls that we have here on campus. Also singles, doubles, triples in various mansions. And as I mentioned before, the rooms do vary in size and character, right? So one room doesn't necessarily look like the next room. If you think probably to your own homes as well, maybe you have a brother or sister whose bedroom isn't exactly the same size as yours and doesn't look the same. That's going to be the case in these mansion style halls. And so it provides a lot of uniqueness and a lot of character to your living experience. And most of these mansion style halls are 10, 20, maybe up to 30 or so residents. So you're getting a very small community. And a tight-knit feel within that community, because you're seeing the same people in and out of the halls every day, because you're going to get to know them. And so it's going to feel like a home if you're living in one of those spaces. So there's a couple of options there: Catlin and Doan, Pearsall, Sturdivant. And I know none of these names mean anything to you right now, but someday they will. And we'll be excited to introduce you to all of them. Waller North and South is the picture you see here right next to the President's House. That is where our honor students will live. And then Doan will be an overflow if Waller North and South is full. And so there's a lot of great options in some of those mansion style halls to have some really unique living environments. All right, providing on-campus housing, I'm going to turn this over to Alex, who's going to jump in.
All right. So provided with your on-campus housing experience, we provide furniture. We provide a twin XL bed. We provide a dresser, a desk, and a chair, and a closet or a wardrobe depending on how the room is configured. If the room itself has a built-in closet, then that's your closet for the year. We also provide cable and internet. And also with being on campus, you also get the Wilkes movie channel. That's channel 98, I believe, and also it's accessible online as well. So nice benefits with living on campus when it comes to your entertainment. We also provide lounge spaces so that way you can mix and mingle and hang out with people that live in your community. We want to make sure that you have the ability to have those spaces where you can just interact and hang out at all times of day and all times of night. Also, we have common kitchens in most of our buildings where you have the ability to just like make cookies or like have those just general late night eats that you get like whenever you live on campus. We also provide free laundry, so there's no need to like charge a card with any money or get coins or anything. Laundry is provided for free when it comes to your housing. We have in a majority of, and all our buildings actually, updated washers and dryers that tell you how much time is allotted in your washer and dryer cycle, so you can just set a timer and just get down there and get your laundry out as soon as possible. And then we have a 24-hour public safety presence. So we have a university police force on our campus where they do checks and walkthroughs of each of the buildings and just make sure that they're there to support you and your safety when it comes to living on campus. And that's 24 hours. Our university police is accessible at all times of day and night, 24/7. And then with what happens in the halls, a lot happens. We have floor meetings where you'll learn about information that's given to you from your resident assistants. You also have RA one-on-ones where you get an in-touch conversation with your resident assistant just to kind of see how it comes with matriculating into the university, with your classes, with your living experience, with just how you're doing overall. We want to make sure we have a touch point just to make sure you have someone to talk to. And then you'll build out your connections from there. We also have hall and area programs where the RAs put on different events that happen, educational and also just some social events, where you get those engagements with not just only your community, but potentially with other communities as well. And then we have Residence Hall Council, which we have, excuse me, I'm sorry. With our Residence Hall Council, we have the ability for you all to advocate for what you see in the halls. Maybe you see something that you want to do or something that needs to change. That's why we have an advocacy program through the Residence Hall Council. They're there to support you as well as your resident assistants. Study groups meet and friendships are built throughout all the interactions you have living on campus. And we want to make sure that we provide you with those resources to have the best community and the best living experience possible.
All right, so we also want to talk a little bit about some adjacent things to residence life that we don't necessarily have direct control over, but often come up in conversations about living on campus. And that's the dining hall and meal plans and parking. So we'll talk about these briefly, and we're happy to answer any questions that may come up. But please understand that these areas don't fall under our direct purview, so but we're pretty knowledgeable about them because they do impact your experience living on campus. So all residential students are required to have a meal plan as they live on campus. And our first year students can choose between the Gold or Gold Plus or Gold Premium, actually. We just added a third one, Colonel meal plan. Now, the base meal plan is the same. The Colonel Gold allows you to access Henry's Dining Hall or Henry's Cafe in our Student Union building whenever it's open, and you can eat as many times as you want. If you've decided that the 7 meals a day plan is what you want, and you need to eat 7 times in a day, you can access that facility 7 times in one day. If you decide that you need breakfast and second breakfast and then lunch and then first dinner, go for it. So you can access that that dining hall every single day. The Gold Plus or Gold Premium, the difference in those 3 levels is the number of dining and flex dollars you get in addition to your access to the dining hall. And so those flex dollars can be used at the dining dollars, can be used at retail locations here on campus. So we have Witch and Growworks, which are 2 retail locations, where you go up and you order a special sandwich, or you order a burger and fries, or chicken sandwich, whatever. Starbucks, we also have a Starbucks on campus. You can use that money at Starbucks as well. And we have a sort of convenience stop in Stark Learning Center, in between Stark and Cohen Science Center, which is sort of the science hub here on campus. The flex dollars can also be used at any of those locations, as well as several locations off campus in the community. So there's a number of restaurants nearby campus and in the surrounding community that you can use some of that money as well. Now, I always tell parents and students that if you're not sure which one to go with the lower plan, because you can always add those dining and flex dollars later in the semester if you find you're running low. Mom and dad, or grandma and grandpa, or aunt and uncle can do it right from home, right on the internet, and add that money to your card if you need it. But at the end of the semester or the end of the year, if you don't use it, it does go away. And so you want to make sure that you're being thoughtful. And you can always change your meal plan to a higher one at the end of the fall semester if you found that you use those dining and flex dollars pretty quickly in the fall semester. You can always change it and upgrade it for the spring semester. Our dining staff are also super awesome. They're really accommodating to any students' concerns or questions. You'll always see the managers walking through the Henry Student Center, especially at lunch and dinner time, the peak times that students are there, and you're happy to they are happy to have you just go up and start asking them questions or giving them feedback. They're really great in that way, and they're also really good about accommodating any dietary needs that you might have. If you have any allergies that you're concerned about eating on campus, they're great points of contact to dealing with or to managing those allergies and dietary requests. Also talking a little bit about parking, because this is also a question that comes up. So first year students are permitted to have cars on campus, but they're not guaranteed a parking spot. We are in an urban area, and parking is at a premium, as it is for every business and location in the downtown Wilkes-Barre area. So we do have parking available. It is a first come, first serve application process, and students are notified about that when that application is released over the summer. It's not available now, but it will be available in late June, early July, and students can go ahead and fill out that application, and then public safety will contact students as they are able to issue parking permits to residential students. So if you're parking on campus, it is a $120 fee per semester, and then you'll be assigned one of our parking lots here on campus by public safety. We also have a cheaper option at Ralston Field. So Ralston is our athletic complex. It's across the river. It's not a far walk, actually. I walk there almost daily just to get my steps in every day. But we also have shuttle services, and public safety will take students back and forth as needed. And so that's a bit of a cheaper option if you need to have your car, or it makes you feel more comfortable to have that. But you may not need, if you don't necessarily need to access it every single day, that's a great option to save a little bit of money, but also still have that available to you. So again, that parking application does come out over the summer. And again, it is first come, first serve. So you'll want to be paying attention to your Wilkes email to see when that comes out, and then filling it out as soon as you're able. It does ask you to identify your residence hall, but there is an option to say you don't know yet, because you likely won't have your housing assignment at that point. So, but you can certainly fill that out as soon as it comes out. So that breaches the end of our prepared presentation, but we wanted to keep it general to see what questions came up and what folks might want to learn more about. So Jackie, do we have any questions that folks have for us?
Not quite yet, but I want to give people some a chance to think about the information you've just given them, and also to ask some questions. But one of your colleagues did mention that the parking application is open now, and I did send that link in the chat. So if anyone wants to check that out, the link is in the chat, and it's probably going to be in your Wilkes email as well. But I just thought for convenience, may as well add it to the chat there.
Yeah, if
okay.
you're living on campus, get it filled out now.
There you go.
Yeah.
One step ahead of the game. I do have a question here. If we have already applied for a specific housing request, how long would it normally take to be confirmed or accepted?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I'll talk a little bit about the application, the housing application process. So housing applications were available starting on April 1st. And typically we have a deadline of June 1st, and I put deadline in quotes because we accept housing applications virtually all summer. But what it allows us to do is start processing them, reaching out to folks that reaching out to students that have indicated they want to live on campus, maybe haven't filled out an application yet. It allows us to put a charge on your student account so that when your bill comes out, it's accurate and accurately reflects the cost of attending, so that you're not getting a housing charge weeks after you think you've paid your bill. So we try and keep that as accurate as possible for you. But typically we send out housing assignments in the middle to end of July. And so that's when you'll find out where you're going to live on campus and who your roommate will be if you are in a double or a triple housing assignment. So if you did put a preference on your application, we have that. And if you have questions about whether we got it, you're certainly welcome to reach out to the email address that's on your screen. But hang tight over the summer. I know everybody wants to know where they're living. We try and get as many applications in and start pairing people up as best we can. But we do that over the summer. So that information you shouldn't expect until, like I said, the middle to end of July.
Awesome. Thank you, Ray.
And I'll say, if you haven't filled out your housing application yet, it's certainly not too late. We can, like I said, we accept them virtually all summer. So if you change your mind in July, if you know there's a friend out there who's living on campus and you just can't, now you're super jealous, feel free to submit the application and we'll do what we can to get you in.
Great, thank you so much. Question, can you choose who you want to room with? And I know you guys have a process of matching. Maybe you could talk about that. And then also the other side of the coin there on choosing your roommate.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, if you have a friend identified that you already want to live with, and a fellow student athlete, someone from your high school, absolutely we will take those requests. So as part of the application or on our housing application site, there is an opportunity to request a specific roommate. That roommate will have to have completed the housing application as well, and then you'll be able to request them once you do that. So if I want to live with Alex and I enter Alex into our system, and I find him and I send him as a request, he'll get an email saying that somebody has requested him as a roommate, and he'll have to click on a link to accept it. And once he does that, that's all you have to do. The roommate request is matched, and you're all set. And we will match you or place you two together in one of our residence halls. Now, if you don't have a roommate, that is okay. There are lots of students that come into campus, not necessarily having a roommate identified, or maybe they have friends coming, but they've decided for their friendship it's best that they don't live together, which is totally okay. You can still be friends with someone and choose not to live with them. We have several questions in the application for housing about living styles, right? Because we find that those are the primary source of roommate tension when those tensions arise. Things like, how late do you go to bed? How messy or clean do you keep your room? To give some of those living styles that most likely aren't going to change when you come to college. And so this is why we always encourage students to fill out those questions and fill out those applications, because I know that mom and dad really wish that their student was super neat, but you know yourselves best, students. And so be honest with those questions, because those are the ones that we use to match you up with a roommate. Right? And I know that process is very scary. It can be very nerve-wracking, not necessarily knowing who your roommate's going to be. But more often than not, it works out just fine. And for those situations where it doesn't work out, our RAs have trained in how to help you manage those roommate conflicts, to help navigate some of those challenges if they come up. And then if it just doesn't work out, we can certainly talk about alternatives moving forward from there. So we are here to help you through that process. But like I said, as nerve-wracking and as uncertain as it can be, most of the time those roommate matches work out. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean this person's going to be the best friend that you have for the rest of your life, but most of the time those roommate matches do work out just fine.
Awesome, Ray. Thanks. And I do want to mention we have a Facebook page for your class. So it's Wilkes University class of 2024 and 2026. So if you haven't yet, request to join that. I'll also add that to the chat if you guys want to just copy and paste that and search for it on Facebook. It's a nice way to kind of connect before you actually get to campus. So maybe you could even, start talking with someone and find a roommate, or even just find some friends. I have a couple other questions, right? Someone is asking, can we request a specific hall now?
Yeah, so we don't have specific halls on our housing application as a request. What we have are those three types that I talked about: the traditional halls, the mansion style halls, and then the suite style halls. And so you can request one of those three. And if you, after this presentation, have decided you want to change it, all you have to do is email us at reslife@wilkes, and we will definitely take that into account. Now, if you have a hall that you're dying to get in and you just can't live without, you can certainly email us that request, and we will do our best to honor it as best we can. But we can't guarantee that we're going to be able to do that, because we do have a number of about 10 or 11 different halls that are first-year halls. So if there's one that you absolutely can't live without, and you just have to tell us, feel free to email us, and like I said, we'll do our best over the summer to make those assignments work for you, if there's something that you just, like I said, that you have your heart set on. When using those preferences on your application, I will say that we use your deposit date as our metric, or so to speak. So it's not necessarily first come, first serve on your application, but the earlier you submitted your admissions deposit, the more likely you are to get your preferences that you've indicated on your housing application.
Awesome. Thanks, Ray. Another question here from Liz. I have never seen the dorm rooms, so is there a way for me to be able to know what my room will look like or how much space I will have?
Great question. Alex, do you want to take that one?
Sure. So we don't have a comprehensive inventory of what your space will look like when it comes to when you arrive to campus. Just a few tidbits for your thoughts when it comes to packing and coming to Wilkes for the first time ever. Don't bring everything. The big thing is you never know what your room will look like, but at the same time, we do provide you with the essentials that you'll need, and definitely bring some things that you can't live without. For example, television or things like that. That's great to bring. But for example, you don't need all your winter clothes at the start of the semester, because the semester starts in August. So to focus more on that, to answer your question, we don't have, like I said, a comprehensive inventory of pictures or floor plans to share to the greater community. But if you definitely have questions about what your room looks like, definitely reach out to the ResLife account, and we can get you information to kind of help you in the planning process, so that way you know what you're going about purchasing and what you might or might not need when it comes to your specific room.
Yeah, we worked this past year on trying to identify some spaces that students had set up to take some videos of, and we're going to continue that project over the summer. Also, if you go to the Wilkes University YouTube channel, there are some student-produced videos from a few years ago that for some of our more popular or larger halls like Evans Hall and University Towers, which again is not available to first-year students, but will be available when you come your sophomore year. And so you're welcome to check out the Wilkes University YouTube channel, which does have some. They're a couple years old, and like I said, they're student produced, but they're a pretty good representation of some of the halls. We also do have some photos on our website, not of every room on campus, because again, with those mansions, each room is a little bit different. But we do have some representations, on both of those locations.
Awesome, thank you. Another question from Rachel. Is there a possibility of there being a shortage of single dorm rooms and some having to live in a double as a result?
Yeah, so Rachel, great question. Yes, I mean, I'll be honest, we always get more requests for singles than we can typically accommodate. It's just a nature of the game, unfortunately, in college housing. But we do have wait lists for singles, and so if you have your heart set on one and don't necessarily get assigned to one, you can always add yourself to our wait list by contacting our office, and we'll put you on it. And if one opens up in a first year area, we'll go to that wait list and work through it as we can. So, but I will also say that having a roommate is one of the quintessential college experiences. And so while it might be a little challenging at first, you learn a lot about yourself, about communicating, about navigating challenges and conflict. I mean, I've been in interviews as the interviewer, the employee, and people have talked about roommate conflicts as a method of communication and conflict resolution as a skill. So you do learn a lot by having that experience. But yeah, like I said, I mean, if we don't get more requests than spaces, then everybody that requests a single will get one. But typically we get more requests for them than we have available. And so we work through them, again, based on deposit date.
Good to know. Another question from Catherine. Do other people see our roommate profile, or is it just there for random pairings in the future?
Yeah, that is a great question as well. And so the only people that see it are the folks in our office. Right now, it's not something that we use for roommate matching. In the roommate search field on the housing site, you can search for name and email address, but it's not one of those things that we use for searching for individual students. So we basically just use that information on our end to match up students that don't have pre-chosen roommate pairs. So that's something that's just on our side.
Good to know. Another question from Jared, and I don't know if you guys would know this or if we would maybe defer to dining services on this. Jared's asking, he says, I did my application for my meal plan, but I wanted to pick the Premier plan and it wouldn't let me choose it, so I picked the Plus plan. Is there any way I can go back and change to the Premier plan?
Yeah, Jared, you should be able to do that if you'd like, but if you're having issues, just feel free to email us or call us and we can change that for you without a problem. I mean, you can certainly call us, but we would ask just for it in writing from your Wilkes email address, and we can change that without an issue. So just shoot us a quick email and we'll take care of it for you.
Great. Another question here. Someone wants to know where they can get more information about the shuttle services, where to catch it, and the times it arrives. I don't know if you guys have that information or if you know of where that would be.
Yeah, so typically student development will have in the student union building, they'll have the schedule available for you as you're bouncing around campus. But I would wait till orientation because the schedule hasn't been set for next year yet. Typically those shuttles will run around campus into Ralston Field just about every day. But as far as the exact timing, that can change slightly from semester to semester. So I would wait until orientation, and you can ask your e-mentor, because we should have the schedule more solidified by then.
That is great. I think that is all the questions that we have. I don't know if there's anything else that you guys wanted to add that as we were talking that kind of came up in your mind, but I think we answered a lot of questions today, and if there's anything else you guys want to add, take the time to do it now.
Well, I will say that we do have a web page for our first year students that have instructions about housing applications, and that's wilkes.edu/first-year-housing. All one word, first year housing. And so if you haven't done your housing application, or you're confused on where to do that, or you found a roommate and you want to know how to add them, you can go ahead and go to that page, and it'll have all the instructions for you. And also our Residence Life website, wilkes.edu/reslife, RESLIFE, also has information for incoming students on our move-in page about what to bring, what not to bring, questions about the residence halls, that sort of stuff that may help you as you're preparing over the summer for what living on campus is going to look like. So, and I'll say, if you have any questions over the summer, do not hesitate to call us, email us. We'll be happy to answer those questions, from parents, from students yourself. Whatever comes up, don't hesitate. Don't think it's a stupid question. Just give us a call and ask, and we'll be able to, or do what we can to help you through that transition to living on campus.
That's great. I did add those two links in the chat, so I will give you guys just a couple of seconds to check those out or copy them, but they are some great resources for our first year students or anyone that is looking to live on campus, so make sure you check those out. Of course, they're available on our website as well, but just for your convenience, they are there in the chat. One other question that came up as we were chatting, Drina asks, are there any other res halls besides Evans Hall to live in a quad with a Jack and Jill bathroom?
No, so Evans is the only suite style building that we have. So yeah, if you've got a roommate and 2 other people you want to live with, really Evans is where you're going to be if you want that Jack and Jill style bathroom.
Awesome. Thank you both so much for doing this and taking the time out of your day, like I said before. And thank you so much to all of our students who attended our session today. I hope you got something out of it. It's always good. I feel like I learn something every time I'm on these webinars. There's just so much to know about residence life and life on campus. So thank you both for everything. And like Ray and Alex said, if you have any questions, of course, the contact information is up on the screen, reslife@wilkes.edu, and the phone number, as well as all of the information that's in the chat. So with that, I think we can wrap it up for today. And thank you both so much.
Yeah, have a great summer, everyone.
No problem. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.